Well, let's talk about your Wizards. I mean,
There's a plan. That's
there,
all I can ask for.
there at least appears to be a plan. Yeah.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Keith Adams, and on today's Wind Up Wednesday edition, NBA summer updates and the WNBA at the All-Star break. So, fans, first of all, Summer League is just that. Let's not get too excited about it, but most of the trades have gone through, most of the signings, etc., re-signings have gone through. So with us today are favorite administrators with us, Robert Abney, and Captain for Life, Will Cotton, is here with us as well. In segment one, we're going to do Eastern Conference summer reports. They're going to go in any direction they want, and so will I. Segment two, we'll do Western Conference summer reports. And in segment three, we'll talk about the WNBA All-Star game. So, Will, looking at the Eastern Conference, pick any team you want. Give us a summer update on a team you're following.
Man, I'm following the Knicks, man. I mean, everybody's following the Knicks. That's my heart, man. The Wizards. I love them guys, but my father grew up a Knicks fan. I went to college in New York. So I have very strong emotions about the Knicks, and I think they're the team that can make over that jump. I think it comes to having that superstar with you, and I think as good as Donovan Mitchell is, he's just not the superstar that you need at the time when it's time to win games in the playoffs. I think and Jalen Brunson is that guy. I think it's the Knicks to go. I think if you're looking for a dark horse, I really, really like Orlando. I like Orlando. They have some young players. Banchero's obviously amazing and so versatile. But I think it's the Knicks to lose. And to be honest with you, if they're not in the finals, it's a very disappointed season in New York.
All right, Robert, any team catch your eye that you're following this summer from the Eastern Conference?
Well, let's talk about two. Let's actually talk about let's start with the Celtics. The Celtics roster is going to be way different. I mean, because you don't have Tatum this year. They traded Porzingis and Drew Holiday and Cornet, and you don't know if you're getting Al Horford back. So it's like, okay, that you have Jaylen Brown, you have Derek White, you have Anthony Simons, and what? So they're going to have to figure that out, and I don't know what that's going to look like. I mean, they're still going to make the playoffs because those three guys are pretty good. But it's kind of a cap reset for them, right? And then the Pistons, the Pistons had a nice season. They had a nice run in the playoffs. They didn't play real well, so they wound up getting beat. But they didn't do a whole lot to change anything. They have Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. They have their core. The guys they got in the offseason are basically just fillers for the guys who left. They lost Dennis Schroeder, they lost Tim Hardaway Jr., and they get Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson. So that's a wash. I mean, you did so. If they get better, it's going to be because their guys worked in the offseason to get better. Not that, and that's what's going to tell for them. How much work are their guys putting in?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there going to be a little bit of reversion to, how bad the Pistons have been?
All right. So selfishly for me, the Philadelphia 76ers. So this year, the CKSA project are resuming season tickets for NBA teams, and we're resuming season tickets for the Washington Wizards, which we had tickets for over 10 years, and then COVID happened. And I've always liked the Philadelphia 76ers. I grew up a Dr. J fan, Andrew Toney, Maurice Cheeks, Bobby Jones, Moses, and I went to Lincoln for a hot second. Read about that in the book. So The Sixers are challenging because they're never healthy. They had a very good draft, and they got a shot in this tattered, battered East to be in the postseason, which will help us financially speaking. So I'm going to really watch the Sixers and see what they do and see how healthy they are. Will, before we close the Eastern Conference, is there one team that's kind of random that you're like, you should probably keep an eye on them for all the good or bad reasons?
I mean, I would say if you're looking at the entire East, it would have to be the Heat. The Heat has always a team that always plays solid. They have probably the best coach right now in the East in the totality in terms of their career. They have great players. They still have the players that are from last year. They still have Bam, Tyler Hero. They still have him. They're still looking for that third piece. I know Dame didn't work out for them. I know Giannis didn't work out for them as well. There were just a ton of teams that they missed. But I think they're still going to be good enough that if they can make a trade somehow after the All-Star and they're still really in it, and it's a really good player, I think the Heat can definitely make a nice little run in the East. So I'll keep an eye on for the East for sure, for the Heat in the East.
All right, Robert, is there anybody we should keep a soft eye out on in the East?
Well, let's talk about your Wizards. I mean,
there's a plan. That's all I can ask for.
There at least appears to be a plan. Yes, right? You got a bunch of young guys. You need you need a couple of old heads. You need a couple of good, sensible old heads to kind of maintain order. If you can find those two guys, I mean, they're even in the East, they're probably not going to make the playoffs, or where they won't make the play-in, but they'll be better. I think they're going to be better. I like Trey Johnson. I think Trey Johnson.
Yeah, he's good.
Good. I think he's going to be a really nice pro player. Kid can shoot it, man.
So for me, and I'm going to go with that, Robert, this is the one team in Summer League that you have to perform, because everybody that's playing is actually going to play during the season. So when the Wizards for their first Summer League game laid an egg, I'm like, man, most of y'all have experience in the Summer League. You guys have to look at Summer League different, because you're not going to have any regular season success. This is your chance to look good. Yeah. So I need to see y'all do something other than get smoked by whoever in the summertime. All right. So with that, in segment 2, the West is wild. We're going to try to talk about it. Get your plate set up. We'll be right back on the Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here. And for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy, designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential, both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CKA Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches Podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. Let's get out to the West. Robert, we've looked at the summer reports, got summer league, drafts, all of that. Any team in the West catch your eye in terms of what they've done to set them up for next season?
Well, I think that given let's start with this. Given recent history, the chances of OKC repeating are very slim. So if you have a choice, OKC or the field, it would make sense to take the field, right? I felt like the Nuggets gave OKC the most trouble in the playoffs. And I think that they are still set up to do so. Just because Jokic, Aaron Gordon played really, really well in that playoff series. He got a little banged up towards the end. That may have been the difference. Who knows? Jamal Murray is a good player. Their bench is a little better. I never cared for Michael Porter Jr. I felt like he just didn't fit with what they were doing. There was something there. I don't know. I don't know if Cameron Johnson's any better, but I feel like the Nuggets, if they can get through some of the dissension that was created at the end of the season with the GM and the coach and all that kind of stuff, if they can work their way through that, I feel like the Nuggets are still going to be that biggest threat to the Thunder.
Well, what do you think in the West? Summer update. What do you got?
For the first time in a long, long time, I think even when I started watching, you guys started watching basketball much longer than me, but even me, there's really not that team is that really putting that fear into the rest of the field. It was in the 2000s when, you were going against the Lakers. It was like, well, we're going to do our best, but we're going to the Spurs. In the 90s, it was, the Bulls and the Houston, and the Rockets, and the 80s, the Lakers and the Boston. What I'm saying is those teams, the league doesn't fear anybody anymore. They don't fear the OKC Thunder, even though they may be the best team. They're getting it every day. There's no fear. That takes away when I think, the field is wide open. I think, at comebacks to like health, obviously, remember you're going on the steak tour now, OKC. So everybody's doing their commercials right now. They're doing their steak dinners, their yacht parties. How focused are you going to be for the mission next season? To me, I like Minnesota. I really like Minnesota, man. They have a really good team, a long team. Obviously, Ant-Man is amazing. If he can somehow figure it out to get over the hump and really get people involved more, he should have more 6 to 7 assists to make the game easier for everybody else. He gets around like 5 or 4, but hey, if he's getting like 7 or 8, you're talking about changing the game in how it works. He shoots a lot of threes unnecessarily as well. He can get to the bucket easily, so he should get a lot more in the playoffs. And that's the team I'm looking for, man. They need to make that next step, or else you got to break this team up. So I think it's wide open. The favorite is still OKC just because they're so good. But, it's hard to repeat in this era. And I think the hungriest team in the West right now is going to be Minnesota.
And I like that you said that because for me, I am rooting hard for OKC because they had a plan and they executed that plan and they paid everybody. So you're in a position where you worked for us. We won a title. We took care of our core. They got Nicole Topic coming, 2024 first round pick. So you're adding a player who's a really good player. And it's like, wow, I get to watch this from the perspective of my doctorate, which is in organizational leadership. So I'm watching their organization develop. But I also like the home run swing the Rockets took. Rockets said, we're going to push the chips to the middle. We're going to get KD. We're going to get rid of some folks. And this is how we're going to roll. I like your Minnesota take, but man, I just don't see that killer in them. And Rob, go ahead.
Did Minnesota really get better?
Because everybody else got better. Them
Everybody
top
else, I
teams got
think,
better.
got better. Did Minnesota, with what they did they get better? And
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Robert, I'm coming to you with an old Yeller moment. 5 people just said, "Oh, Yeller, Lakers are not winning," but we're gonna have to talk about it. But they're not top heavy, so they'll make the top 6 and first, second round, and there you go. Okay, Clippers, go take them out back. Golden State, year older. Jimmy Butler for the whole year, so now Jimmy's got to put work in that sometimes Jimmy don't like to do because Miami Jimmy is still Miami Jimmy. He just moved to San Francisco. So
Right.
we'll see what happens with that. But Robert, is there any outside team that you're like, keep an eye on them because they just might mess everything up?
I don't know. I think you have to wonder what the Spurs are progressing. Did they get Victor Wembanyama's? Did they get that deep vein thrombosis taken care of?
Yeah, that's not an ankle injury.
No,
that's
that's
not a broken wrist.
You've got him, you got De'Aaron Fox, you've got Dylan Harper, the number 2 pick, you've got Stephon Castle, who won the Rookie of the Year. That's a nice core. That's a really nice core.
Yeah.
And they're in the West. So, I mean, they're probably outside looking in because the rest of their roster isn't very good. But again, there's a plan.
Yeah.
There's a plan. But other thing is I agree with you. I mean, Warriors, Clippers, that ship has sailed, boys. It's time for a new plan.
Yeah.
And the Lakers, I don't know how the Lakers are going to guard anybody.
Expectations. They keep telling me DeAndre Ayton is going to be whatever. Man, there's a reason why you were available. Will, is there anybody in the West you're like, keep an eye on them?
Man, like, you want the Kings to be something. I mean, they have talent. They have guys who can play basketball really good. Sabonis, DeRozan, Levine. But I don't know what it. Maybe it's the air in Sacramento. Maybe it's the water or something because they just can't figure it out. But like Robert says, there's really nobody else that's making me really excited. I guess like Houston, watch out if they can catch fire, and if they understand, and especially if KD can stay healthy, watch out. That could be it.
Can the coach not text the players?
Okay, yeah. Has that been confirmed?
Sorry.
I think I'm off the Nuggets. I don't think I'm off the Nuggets. I think Jokic is amazing. I don't think Jamal Murray is very good. I think he's still coming back from his knee injury in his mind because he's just, ever since he messed up his knee, he couldn't consistently and just not playing well. Aaron Gordon is getting a little older, very limited. You know what I'm saying? Great defender, but how much are you going to lean on him too much? We'll see. I don't know if they got better as well. If anything, I think they got a little worse. Yeah. So it's look at Houston. I think that'd be a good team to look at. I think they could, or Sacramento.
I'm going to be everyone else and say keep an eye on Dallas because they're allowing Cooper Flag to try different things. And I hate the internet sometimes because somebody posted that Cooper Flag, who hadn't played point guard since sophomore year of high school, got locked up. Man, we're just practicing stuff, buddy. That guy, whoever he was guarding, I won't even know his name in 2 months. And Cooper Flag is getting the reps that he needs. Now let's shut him down. We've seen 2 games. That's good enough for me. You know how Coach Adams is, Will. We're done.
We're done.
We'll see you in September. Anyway, when we get back in segment 3, WNBA All-Star game, We need to help them market better. We'll be right back on the iCoaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Keith Adams, and for years, I've witnessed the struggles student athletes face on how to truly balance the demands of academics and athletics. It's a question that I have dedicated my life to answering. That's why I wrote Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. It's more than just a book. It is my personal journey, and it is filled with hard-earned lessons from decades as a coach, educator, and now president of the CKA Safe Project. Inside, you will find practical advice, real-life stories, and a clear roadmap to help student athletes, coaches, and parents navigate the complex world of balancing sports and education. And now I am thrilled to bring this message to a wider audience as a proud member of the Cascade Sports Network. We're partnering to amplify these crucial conversations about student-athlete success. I believe every student-athlete deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, both on and off the court and the field. You can purchase your copy directly from our website at www.ckasafeproject.org. Join me and the Cascade Sports Network as we work together to help every student athlete succeed. Welcome back to the iCoaches Podcast. This segment 3, WNBA news and notes. We are at the All-Star break when this comes out. Top 5, Minnesota. Hey, WNBA, Minnesota should not play 3 games in 4 days, okay? I don't think that's the best way of scheduling, but I'll stop. Phoenix is 2. New York is 3. Atlanta's 4. Seattle's 5. On the outside looking in, the Golden State Valkyries. Well done in terms of your roster construction. Indiana Fever, Washington Mystics. Hey, we might get a playoff game here. And, Aces, what's going on? But the main story this week, WNBA All-Star game. Just kind of want to get the panel's thoughts. Will, did the WNBA do a good enough job to make you just want to sit down and tune in, sir?
Nah, they haven't. They've done a better job previously, like the last 2 years. I remember Angel Reese played in it, and I saw a couple clips in Instagram, and I was like, they had an All-Star game to last night? It's just, they need to do a better job. At this point, with gambling and things going on, let's call it what it is. Get people interested. Call FanDuel, say, hey, FanDuel, do some no sweat parlays for me. Do this for that. Have people watch the stuff. Let's get on, advertisements, let's do this, let's do that. They do nothing, and people want to watch. I mean, like you said, man, wasn't somebody gambling on Summer League? You can gamble on a real game that matters for people. Why are you wasting your time with that? You know what I'm saying? So to me, at some point there has to change of leadership, which changes the culture. You have a wartime here. You have a wartime prison when you have a wartime situation, and then you have a peace president when things are at peace. So right now they need a war chief, and they need to be aggressive with the marketing. They put money into it. They can get sponsors, investments. Say, hey, this is a building brand. We have names. We have incoming names that are coming. We're growing the league. We have more teams every year. We're adding more people. But they're just not attacking at the right places to create the revenue that's going to take them to the table. And it's like, okay, well, we want to give you guys more money. It's like, well, our plan is to kind of do what we've been doing the last 10 years, 15 years, and it doesn't move the needle. It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate because you're seeing the game. You're seeing the improvement, the evolution of the women's basketball game. It's just amazing. I mean, it's better than the NBA product if you want to get a little technical about it. It's I just don't think
the in-season product, absolutely.
Oh yeah, easily, and I just think they don't have the leadership in place that are really wanting to push the game. I think they're just happy that they're making money. They're happy being popular. They're happy they get invited to these dinners. And hey, they're calling them, oh, the W is doing great. So popular. But they're not ready to push the league in a way that's taking advantage of all the eyes that are on us right now. So, I mean, I'll check it out in the name of loving basketball and the game. But man, it's hard to go drink a beer or 3 beers to go watch the WNBA All-Star game. I'll watch it at home.
All right, Robert, have they done enough to get the casual fan like yourself and myself involved in, hey, let's tune into the WNBA All-Star game?
I don't think so. I mean, if not for some social media accounts that I follow, I would not know it's the All-Star break. I wouldn't know. And, I see the format of the game is different again this year than it was last year, than it was the year before. And I mean, I guess you do that because you want people to be engaged. And at the same time, it's like, you're clearly just casting about trying to find something. Asia Wilson, remember, she's coming off an injury. She is on Caitlin Clark's team. I would not expect her to play. I mean, why would you play coming off an injury like that?
Yeah.
But I mean, they haven't done enough, and they really don't do enough to catch the lightning in the bottles that they have. I mean, people are paying attention. They pay attention to Caitlin Clark. They pay attention to Angel Reese. They pay attention to Sophie Cunningham, the goon on the Fever. They pay attention to her. They pay attention to Sabrina Ionescu. They pay attention.
That's the one that I'm like, wait a second. That's the quote last person like Kobe put over prior to his passing, and she's not like on billboards kind of thing. And again, it's just a missed opportunity.
She does State Farm commercials, and good on her. I mean, that's great, but I mean, they just haven't done enough. And I mean, it's almost like, and again, it's admittedly a result of the social media that I choose to follow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see as much social media for the women's soccer league as I do for the WNBA, and that should not be.
Right. Well, the game is in Indiana, so it should be Caitlin Clark everything. Go to St. Elmo's.
It'll be sold out. Guarantee you it'll be sold out.
Yeah, no, for sure. And have it Chicago next year. Why not? Double down on it.
Yeah, man. Okay. All right, good stuff. So on behalf of our Cavalcade Stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, also seen on the Cascade Sports Network, and we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project. In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach FRANCHIZE. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches podcast.